hearing Bhagavad Gita, yesterday we heard when Krishna gave his advice, what actually he wanted to say to Arjuna. Then he said, this advice, you should not speak to those who are envious of me or unwilling to serve me, and they are not my devotee, because they will not accept it and they will misuse it. So that is wrong. But if someone will impart this knowledge of Sharanagati to Krishna to those who are devotees, means they awakened faith in Krishna, then giving of this knowledge, of this advice, will be very pleasing to Krishna. He will consider no one is more dear to me than such a person, such devotee who is serving me in this way to help other jivas to come to me. Then Krishna asked, and even if someone will, yes, and Krishna also told, one who will study this discourse between Krishna and Arjuna, he will worship him by Gyan Yagya. And if one is having faith even, and not envious, and merely listens to this discourse, he will also get some benefit, release from all sins, and happy regions of the virtues he will get. And then Krishna asked Arjuna, did you listen with rapt attention? Have you been disillusioned from your ignorance? Because Arjuna surrendered to Krishna and said, I don't know what I have to do in this situation. What is for my welfare? I don't know. I completely surrender unto you. Please, Krishna, you give me advice. So Krishna was speaking all this just so that he could come to this ultimate advice which he wants to give him. Then Arjuna said, O Achyuta, by your grace, my illusion is gone. I have regained my sense. I am settled. My doubts are removed. I shall follow your advice. What is the meaning of word guru? Gu means darkness, ignorance. Ru means one who dispels. Original guru is Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Then there are his personal associates, but original is Krishna. So he, when he acts as a guru, he will remove the darkness of ignorance and bestow proper knowledge, which will remove all ignorance and everything, and one will clearly understand what he has to do. Like when there is darkness, you are seeing there is a snake and you become afraid. So you are not going forward. But when sun comes up and you see it is a rope, then there is no more fear and you can go forward. So you know what you have to do. Like that, it is the function of Krishna as a guru or as a bona fide guru to remove darkness of ignorance. Ajnana timirandasya. Andha means blind. I am blinded by darkness of ignorance. Ajnana timirandasya. Jnananjana shalakaya. Guru gives thee that ointment for the eyes of knowledge by that instrument, shalaka. Ajnana timirandasya jnananjana shalaka chakshur unmilitam. he opens our eyes. Chakshur unmilitam. Jena, by who, by whom, by whose. Such tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. I completely surrender to such Guru, who opens my eyes with the ointment of knowledge and removes darkness of ignorance. So whenever we actually take shelter of Guru and fully submit to him, giving up all other ideas, we are open to hear his advice, then that advice which he will give, that will be very clear, very logical, clear, no any doubts, and you will have approval from your heart. Yes, this is right, I should do this. So this happened to Arjuna. By your grace, now my illusion is gone, what I have to do for my welfare and for the welfare of others. I regained my sense. I was senseless, but now I got back my sense. I'm settled. I'm not confused. I know now. I'm stable. My doubts are removed. I shall follow your advice. So this happens by the grace of bona fide Guru. But from our side, we have to surrender. Surrender means give up all our ideas and be ready to listen from him. Sanjaya Uvacha. Ityaham vasudevasya partasya cha mahatmanaha samvadamimam ashrousham adbhutam romaharshanam. Sanjaya said, O king, I heard this wonderful and thrilling dialogue that took place between Arjuna and Shri Krishna. Sanjaya is speaking to Dhritarashtra. By the grace of Vyasadeva, Sanjay, although staying in the palace with Dhritarashtra, who was blind, he could see everything what was going on there. Nowadays we have like Facebook Live, so if I'm not present there, someone with the camera, with mobile is there, and I'm in my house, I can see what is going on and I can hear. Nowadays we have. But at that time, Vyasadeva had such mystic power that he made this, he gave this blessing to Sanjay, that he will be able to see. And Vyasadeva also has that power. He, after the Kurukshetra war, those wives of dead soldiers, they were mourning, very sad. But Vyasadeva, by his power, he showed them their souls, the souls of the husbands, and they could recognize. And by this they could know that they are still existing, and they became pacified. So real Guru, Supreme Lord or real Guru, they have such power, extraordinary. They can show the reality, and by seeing the by us seeing the reality, then illusion is gone, and all the problems created by illusion is also gone. So here, at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, when Dhritarashtra asked in the first verse, "O Sanjay, what did my people and the Pandavas do?" What did, not what they are doing now, but what did they do? And here, Sanjay said, "O king, I heard this." Not I was hearing now, no, I heard this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, because I heard from this, I think from Siddhanti Maharaj, or I think from him, yes, that this Bhagavad Gita happened on the first day. But Sanjay spoke about what was happening on the first day on some later day. No, it was not online. Sanjay could see everything, and after some time he spoke to Sanjay, to Dhritarashtra. So Sanjay also, he was hearing, he was also thrilling dialogue. And now further he says, Vyasa prasada chrutavam etad guhyam aham param yogam yogeshwarat krishnat shakshat katayatah swayam. I have heard this most confidential yoga system expounded by Sri Krishna, the veritable Lord of all yogas, by the grace of Vyasadeva. He got this blessing. Yoga system. Because yoga has many ladders. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and ultimately Bhakti yoga. So some time ago, one devotee asked me, in one chapter, I will open 1 second because it is important, that what actually Krishna advised. In the chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, 1 second. I have to find that. Yes, I found. In 6th chapter, verse 4, here Srila Swami Maharaj in the commentary says, when a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or in fruitive activities, because higher taste he's getting. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. If we are not engaged in the service of Krishna, the senses will not sit idle. Gurudev told me. They will do some these inferior things. So here Sai Maharaj continues, without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities for himself or for those whom he thinks they are mine. Family, country, this world, that is extended selfish activities, because it is out of false ego, means ignorance. So without Krishna consciousness, one will definitely be self-centered. But a Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rank of the yoga ladder. This is the end of this purpose. So the point is that this 1 second. Hello? Yeah, program. Ashtanga Yoga is this chapter. So Krishna was explaining, you have to take asana, you have to sit in that posture and with erect neck and everything and meditate and all. This is mechanical process of Ashtanga Yoga. So if one is not Krishna conscious, then he has to control these other desires by this mechanical process before being elevated to the top rank of the yoga ladder. What is the top rank of the yoga ladder? That is Bhakti Yoga. So if one goes by the gradual procedure, then he has to do those things. But if he will, by the grace of pure devotee, engage himself in the service of Krishna, then by getting higher taste in the service of Krishna, automatically he will lose all other desires. And when he will be fully engaged, full Krishna conscious, then there is no chance of him being engaged in any sense gratification of fruitive activities, means to do something to later on enjoy that fruit. Not possible. But if someone is not a devotee, then he will take to those processes. Gurudev also once he told me, there are many ways how to control anger or to gradually remove many ways of approach how one can start to do this, but you are a devotee. You already have faith in Krishna. So for you, those practices are not to be applied. They may be applied by those who don't have faith in Krishna, but you are a devotee, you are Krishna Bhakta. So without blaming anyone, even not your own nature, because you produced it, without blaming anyone, sincerely you chant this Maha Mantra, then by this you can remove all anger. Why? Because there will be no any other more desires. So there will be no anger due to obstruction of fulfillment of those desires. So many processes there, many approaches, but if one is eligible for Bhakti Yoga, then he should stick to Bhakti Yoga. And if he's not experiencing result, then that does not mean that he has to now do something else beside Bhakti. He has to be sincere and pray to Gurudev and ask him, where is the defect in my practice that I'm not getting the result? Then Guru will detect and he will say, here is the problem. But we have to fix our Bhakti. Not that we will put aside Bhakti and do so many other processes for some things. No, that will not be good. We have to rectify our Bhakti practice if there is any lack of result or impatience or something, then Guru will help. So here Sanjay told to Dhritarashtra, I heard this most confidential yoga system expounded by Shri Krishna. Krishna spoke about yoga system in the way of gradual procedure. First Nishkama Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga. This is one way. But in reality, Krishna wanted Arjuna to directly accept pure Bhakti Yoga. That is his conclusion. But he had to explain all those things as for comparison and for those who are eligible for those practices, but he wants Arjuna to immediately take this. So that is yoga system. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he came to give Bhakti Yoga to all jivas by providing them sadhu sangha, harikatha, harikirtan, and by hearing that they will awaken their faith in Krishna and they will accept his service. Our Gurudev also told that first one has to hear Hari Kirtan, means chanting of holy name by real devotees, and hear Harikatha and can do some service also, knowingly, unknowingly or something. Then when his faith in and he can read Shastra, devotional scriptures, then when his faith in Krishna will be awakened, then he will be initiated into the service of Krishna. So by the grace of Vyasadeva, he blessed him that he could see and hear what Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Rajan samsmritya samvadam imam adbhutam Keshavarjunayoh punyam hrishyami cha muhur. So I forgot to tell. That devotee was asking me, what is the meaning here, this mechanical process? If one is not like Krishna conscious, then this process, mechanical. Then I told him, here it is meant Ashtanga Yoga. That is not for us. It is meant for those who did not accept the service of Krishna. We are now, we are devotees, we are not fully Krishna consciousness, but that does not mean that now we have to do Ashtanga Yoga. By devotional service in practice, sadhana bhakti, we will get all the results. But if someone did not accept this path, then for him that will be beneficial to control the senses by that mechanical yoga process, Ashtanga Yoga. But it is not for us, and also it is very difficult, all these other processes to do in Kali Yuga. Very difficult. So that is not recommended. Recommended is Bhakti Yoga through chanting of Harinam. O king, my hairs stand on end. Means I'm in ecstasy. Whenever I recall to mind this wonderful dialogue of Sri Krishna and Arjuna, my joy knows no bounds. That is transcendental bliss that has no bounds, no limitation of time, space, or anything. No. Tacha samsmritya rupam atyadbhutam hare vismayo me mahan rajan hrishyami cha punah punaha. O king, I am astounded and overwhelmed with joy at the constant remembrance of that all-beautiful form of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Lord of all. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shrir Vijaya Bhutir, Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. Where there is Sri Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, that is Yogeshwara, and where there is Arjuna, the holder of the bow Gandiva, there are fortune, victory, power, success, and uprightness. This is my firm conviction. So he also understood, Sanjay, that because Duryodhana, he could decide what he wants, Krishna's army or Krishna. Then Duryodhana By his worldly intelligence, he thought it is better to have all the army of Krishna. What he will do? He's alone, nothing. But Arjuna immediately decided, no, I want Krishna. Because Krishna is Supreme Lord. He has his Yogeshwara. So Sanjay understood, where there is Krishna, who is Yogeshwara. He's not ordinary human being. He's Supreme Lord, all-powerful. And Arjuna, he is devotee. Then all will be there. Victory, power, success, everything will be there. So we have to submit to Sri Krishna. We are his, we have to submit to him. Yet there is one note. The Holy Gita, the crest jewel of all the scriptures, is the most valuable casket of devotion, of which the first 6 chapters of Karma Yoga represent the golden front cover. The last 6 chapters of Jnana Yoga represent the golden back cover. Both studded with pearls and gems, while the middle 6 chapters of Bhakti Yoga represent the most precious, bejeweled bunch of keys that wins over the heart of Sri Krishna. Golden keys to win the heart of Sri Krishna. That is Bhakti Yoga. By Bhakti Yoga we can satisfy Krishna. And is highly appreciated by the 3 worlds, and whose handmaid is the couple of shlokas beginning with Man Mana Bhavo, composed of 64 letters. These 2 verses, Man Mana Bhavo, Mad Bhakto, Mad Jaji, Mam Namaskuru, and Sarvadharmam Parityaja. Because this is the most confidential advice Krishna is giving, highest, this is what he wanted to give. You become my devotee, and by becoming my devotee, don't think that you will commit any sin. I will rescue you from all sins. Gist that of this chapter, that pure devotion based on absolute surrender to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is the only function of the jiva. Is not only the keynote of this chapter, but also of the whole teachings of the Gita. As I told on that program, one can see every verse of Gita explaining pure devotion to Krishna. Can find that sort of explanation. Krishna means Advaita Acharya was explaining in that way. And sometimes if he could not find that explanation, then he would start to fast. And during night, Krishna appeared in his dream and told him this is the meaning as Bhakti Yoga. So few shlokas he explained to him like this in dream. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed himself that he is that same Krishna, he also told to Advaita Acharya, do you remember when I helped you in dream and I told you all verses, those whom you could not understand, except one. That one I will tell you today, the explanation. So as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he explained to him that verse. So here it is written, it is not only the keynote of this chapter, but also of the whole teachings of the Gita. Everything is only about pure devotion to Krishna, for those who can see. And another way is, one will understand, Krishna is explaining many gradual, those advancement processes, so that one will ultimately accept bhakti to Krishna. That is also okay. So the whole purpose is this, to accept Bhakti Yoga. And another is that Krishna explained that procedure gradual by which one can come to Bhakti Yoga. But there is another direct process, revolutionary process, that by the grace of Krishna or bona fide Guru, one can, without undergoing all those processes, he can directly accept service of Krishna. This is also one. And another is given by our Gurudev, that Krishna is highly praising karma in the beginning. Karma. Everyone has to do karma. Without karma, you cannot even maintain or have. Everyone has to do karma. So highly praising and encouraging for karma, Arjuna. But ultimately, he says in karma, that chapters, you have to do karma for yagya. Then you will not be bound. And another name of yagya is Vishnu. So you have to do all your work for Vishnu. That is devotion. So he's attracting them through karma, praising of karma, but he will take all those karmis to accept devotion to him. And when he is highly praising Gyan and encouraging Arjuna, you take to Gyan, then ultimately he will say, Krishna in those chapters, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavam Mam Prapadyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Gyan is after many lifetimes. They will ultimately understand that I am everything, and they will surrender to me. Or they will understand that to know the absolute knowledge, absolute Gyan, Advaya Gyan, they have to surrender to receive that grace of revelation. They will understand and they will accept pure devotion. So whenever Krishna uses the word Mahatma in the whole Gita, there are maybe 6 times or something when Krishna is using the word Mahatma. Every time it refers to his pure devotee for pure devotion. You can check. Because that is what Krishna is thinking. They are Mahatmas, those who are pure devotees, great souls. So Mahatma Sudurlava, such Mahatma is very rare. And when Krishna is speaking about Ashtanga Yoga, yoga practices, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Dharana, no, first is Pratyahara. You have to withdraw the senses from the object of the senses, that is Pratyahara. Then Dharana, no, yes, Dharana, then Dhyana and Samadhi. 8 steps of yoga. First, Yama, you have to regulate your life. Not stealing, not lying, not illicit the sex connection, all this. And Niyama, then some rules, Yama Niyama. First, in yoga, nowadays, if you go some yoga studio, they will never tell you, you should not eat meat, you should not take any intoxicant. They will never tell you. Because then no one will come and their business will be lost. But it is actually the first step. Before you can start to practice asana, there are yamas and niyamas. Should not lie and these things, that morally, all this. First you have to do this, yama and niyama. Then you can start practicing asana. And the purpose of practicing asana is not to have health. That will be, or to lose weight, or like this. That is not the purpose. Although you will also get that as a side effect. That is okay, but purpose of doing so many different asanas is only one. So that you will make your body fit that you can sit in that Padmasana. That is the whole purpose, that your spine will be flexible and strong enough, and all this, that you can remain in perfect Padmasana or Sukha Asana. Both these two are suitable for meditation. Sukhasana and Padmasana. That is the purpose of all asana. Then pranayama. You have to inhale and then hold, and you will have to count by chanting Om or some mantra, because it is breathe in will be for some time, then holding the breath will be for some time, and exhale will be little longer. There is a procedure for this. By this pranayama, there are other pranayamas, Kapalabhati, Brahmi, all they are meant so that you will do this Anuloma Vinuloma properly, and then you can pacify your mind. Your mind will become calm, down. When all these channels, nadis, all this will be purified, then your mind will also become stable. That is the purpose of pranayama, not health, although you will also get that. And then you have to practice pratyahara to detach your senses from sense objects. You will have to close your eyes not to see this beauty of this world, and close your ears and everything. You will have to. That is pratyahara. Then dharana, you will have to practice concentration. And then dhyan. That is meditation on the object of worship. And then when you will be fully absorbed, that will be samadhi. That will be ultimate goal. So Krishna is speaking all this. That is that mechanical process I mentioned before, by which one can also pacify the senses, control the senses. But if he will not meditate on Supreme Lord, then he will also fall down. So here Krishna is speaking highly about Ashtanga Yoga, but ultimately he told to Arjuna, you become yogi. It is the best of all tapasvi, jnani, karmi, all. Yogi is the best. But that yogi who is always thinking of me with firm faith, he's the best of all yogis. That is bhakti yogi. So again, Ashtanga yogis, he's bringing to bhakti. So all the time, the purpose of Krishna is all the time to bring people to pure devotion to him. That is his compassion, because he knows the jiva can be happy only by pure devotion to him. That is his natural function. So in any way, from any way you come, you will have to, if means those who are surrendered souls, they can see this in Gita. But if one is not surrendered, he will get so many other teachings from the Gita to suit his own purpose, and he will say, Krishna said it. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is. Even for that sense enjoyment, as I told about that tea or something. One who is not surrendered to Krishna, he will have so many other conclusions, and he will preach that as if this is what Krishna wants from jivas to do. But it is wrong commentary. Right commentary is always, it has to come to conclusion to pure devotion to Krishna. Then that is right conclusion. That is the conclusion which Krishna gave and Arjuna understood and also did. Otherwise we miss. If we don't come to the same conclusion as Arjuna, then we missed. We did not understand. So here is the end of Bhagavad Gita. Jai Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. So here there are again questions and answers for this chapter. What is the real meaning of sannyas and tyag? It was in the beginning of this chapter. Ultimately, if I remember correctly, they are both same in purpose. The Supreme Lord said, learned men know the renunciation of obligatory and occasional duties as sannyas. They call the giving up of the results of all fruitive actions as tyag. And in the verse 11, it is not possible for a conditioned soul to give up all sorts of duties. He is a real tyagin who has abandoned all fruits of his actions. Then he said that ultimate purpose of sannyas and tyag is the same. Then second, what is the view of the Blessed Lord as regards sannyas and tyag? Verse 4. O Arjuna, O chieftain of men, listen to my definite opinion about that tyag. There are three kinds of tyag, renunciation mentioned in the scriptures. And then he is explaining what is sattvic tyag, no, yes, it is, yes, sattvic tyag, when the daily works are performed out of sense of duty, by giving up altogether the attachment and also the desire for fruits thereof. That is sattvic tyag. Rajasic, yes, this is next question. What are the characteristics of sattvic tyag? So this was. And then there is Rajasic tyag. And he who abandons the daily duties, considering them to be painful out of fear of physical troubles, performs Rajasa tyag and does not surely get the result of renunciation. And there is also Tamasic. Renouncement of those duties out of ignorance is said to be tamas, tamasic tyag. Then, next question, what are the fivefold causes of senses of action? 14 and 15. Yes, that what we are hearing, 5 factors of all actions here. That is, one is body, one is subjective agent, that is jiva, then 5 senses, cheshta, various activities, deva, that is Paramatma, Supreme Lord, is the most important factor because he gives the power to jiva. Then jiva can decide what to do, and through those senses, he will do those activities and body, and then that action is performed. So jiva is not the only factor. Those who think I am the only factor, they are in false ego. And those who think I am not doing anything, that is also false ego. Then they are denying their responsibility which they have. So all five factors are there. Who possesses real insight and good intentions. 17. He who has no spirit of egotism and whose mind has no attachment for the fruits of actions does not kill anybody, although he kills all, and is not bound by his actions. One who is without false ego, what he's doing for the service of Krishna, he will not be bound by any fruitive reaction because he's not doing out of false ego. Although he kills, he does not kill anyone in the sense that no one can kill the soul, and in another sense that he is not doing any worldly action. He's doing transcendental action, and that action will help those. Like when Dhruva, Arjuna, we have one example. Dhruva is also like that. When he was fighting those Yakshasas, at that time already he was a pure devotee, but he was a king, so it was his duty to protect the citizens from unrighteous, this Yakshas, all this. So he was killing them, but all those, they got higher destinations because they were killed from the hand of Dhruva, not ordinary person. And Dhruva was not bound by that action, this world. What are the three incentives to actions? Knowledge, knowable, and the knower. Knower means this one who is doing action, what he has to attain, and how he will have to attain. These are the three stimuli to action. While the instrumentality of the senses for doing, the deed and the doer are the three basic instruments of action. You are using this body for action, senses, that action and the doer. What are the three kinds of jnana, karma, and karta? That is knowledge, activity, and doer. Shloka 19. In the Sankhya system, jnana, karma, and karta are mentioned to be of three kinds, according to the three qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas. So, rajasic, tamasic. What is sattvika jnana? Know that knowledge to be sattvic, by which one unified eternal principle is realized in all divergent beings. In all living beings, there is one unified spirit. One, that is sattvika jnana. It's not pure jnana. Pure jnana means nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam. That there is one eternal among many eternals, one conscious among many eternals. And that one eternal is fulfilling the desire of many. That is spiritual variegatedness. But those who have sattvic jnana, they are not realizing this up to this point. They only realize that in all beings there is one spirit there. But rajasic jnana, now yes, what is rajasic jnana? Know that knowledge to be rajas which, being characteristically different, sees divergent principles in all different beings. He's Russian, he's American, he sees all differently. He's man, he's woman, she's woman. In this way they see differences. And Tamasic Gyan, the knowledge that eating, drinking, making money, sexuality, and such other sensual enjoyments are the be-all and end-all of human existence, is Tamas Gyan, which is derogatory, insignificant, ephemeral, that is temporal, non-real, irrational, and causal. So this is secular knowledge dealing mostly with physical and mental amelioration to satisfy body and mind. That is the goal of life, so that is tamasic. Now in Kali Yuga is prominent. So tomorrow we will go through this question till the end. There are many questions because this chapter was very long, but I think tomorrow we can finish them, and then we will either start Bhagavatam, or I can already start, I don't know, for Kartik, those preparation for Kartik. We'll see tomorrow.